think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. Coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, ooh, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, 'cause that's what it takes.
All right, y'all. Happy Wednesday, August 27th. Let me get, look who's here. A Noisy Corex. How you doing,
Oh
amigo?
boy. Doing pretty good. Enjoying my CoffeeZilla t-shirt.
Did he send you a shirt or did you buy
I
one?
bought it. I wish he sent me a shirt. You think I'm that famous? Please.
I think he's down in my neck of the woods, isn't he?
He
Down
is.
in New Braunfels or something.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go do a in-studio live stream with him.
You need to go to the court date so we can have an on-scene reporter. They're going to be having a court hearing over some discovery matters. Apparently,
Is that in what court is it in? Bear County or San Antonio?
I think it's San Antonio District Federal Court.
Hey, anyone that was listening or Corex on the opening music, was it sounding sped up or doubled or weird to anybody, or was that just mine? I came back and sat down after I refilled my water and got my cigar, and I plugged my headset back in, and all of a sudden the audio sounded weird.
I wasn't paying too much attention to it. It might have been because when you jumped in, the audio was kind of off sync. Like you started moving your lips and the audio kind of had to catch up with you.
Well, that's actually a trick that I learned in acting school. That's just me.
Okay.
Oh man.
Nice cover.
Yeah. So I thought, tonight NVIDIA obviously is something worth talking about, but we haven't had a chat in a week or more about any of our favorite meme stocks, some of which I'm invested in, some of which I'm not invested in, and some which I just sit back and eat the popcorn and watch the goings on, like, Quantum and GNS.
Yep.
And then, wow, did you catch the Ramez live stream?
No.
That was last night, where he was talking about giving away $20 million to his.
Yeah, and then he magically disappeared. I wonder what happened there.
He had a live stream, X space call, to talking about giving away $20 million to the downtrodden meme stockholders, particular BBBY, I guess. And then the next day, his account is nuked. I don't know what happened, but they say he'll be back in 2 days. Correct.
I'm sure. Rumor is that he was trying to suggest that he had happened upon some money by lying about his financial bearings, but that I can't neither confirm nor deny those sources. So
I don't deal with that crowd very much at all. Every now and then, if I think I can provide something helpful, like about bonds, I'll pipe in, but I mostly just leave them alone because
it's becoming increasingly hard to help them.
Well, there's no point even in commenting on it because the ticker was canceled a couple of years ago. They have their little group and they want to talk about stuff, and hopefully things work out for them. I don't think that it will, but you never know. And I don't see what harm they're doing other than, selling art coins to people. that could be considered harm to
and
some.
rugging their own viewers.
But the Remez thing I find fascinating, you know, as he replaced the Pulte, what do you call it, where he gives social media, what do they call it when they give away money on social media?
I don't know.
Social media, Twitter philanthropy.
Yeah, that's a really broad definition of the term philanthropy, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to trash the guy. If he's going to give money away to people that needs it, then more power to him. But I just was trying to do a follow-up this morning, and his account got nuked, and I really am waiting for some explanation about what happened. I have none. Dink, how you doing? Anya, what's going on? BRO's trades. Can you talk about UPXI? Possibly.
Never heard of that ticker, so if you do,
yeah, we have
to guide me.
We have certain tickers we're going to talk about tonight. Any ticker beyond that you guys want 5 or 10 minute analysis on will be by super chat only, because I want to stay on topic with the stuff we have planned to talk about, and I'm happy to divert and talk about your stuff. But if I'm going to be spending my time, you know, support the channel a little bit. Corex, you told me about a video, which I think, real quick, I think we should play this for everybody. And there's probably going to be some people maybe upset about watching this, but it's out there. So it's something to listen to and have some opinions on. There's going to be some people that might be a wake-up call. And there's going to be others like, yeah, that's stock investing. The title of the video is Top 7 Signs That You Are in a Cult Stock. And it apparently was put out by one of the mods or somebody on Wall Street Bets. Is that what you gather?
That's my understanding, at least what I gathered from the way he talked when he talks about Wall Street Bets in the video. It makes it sound like he's part of the community at the
But didn't Wall Street Bets start out by promoting cult-like followings of stocks, like piling?
Not really. A lot of the people like gathered around it, but mostly what Wall Street Bets is degenerate gambling, like people who had money that like someone like and then his name completely popped out of my head. Not Keith Gill, but Martin Shkreli, where he has a lot of money. He understands what he's doing. He understands that he's doing stupid, risky stuff, but he understands the risks he's taking. That kind of investor.
And he gets off on posting a
that too. There's the kind of that kind of stuff too.
I was right.
That was also Wall Street Bets.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes he's right. Sometimes he's not. I catch him every now and then on live streams, but I don't watch him regularly. He seems, I know a lot of people hate him, and understandably so, for a variety of reasons, but he does seem like an intelligent guy. At least his understanding of the stock market. Dink says this video, 7 Signs You're a Cult Stock, was put out by Gary Gensler. Have you seen it yet, Dink? Funded by the SEC and FINRA. Yeah, that would be funny if we could tie the strings back to them on that, Dink. The tickers that we are going to talk about tonight, GameStop, obviously. Corex, I don't know if you know, they have their earnings coming up, officially announced now for September 9th, which is less than 2 weeks away now. After market close, there are predictions all over the map on what the Q2 earnings is going to be. We got on the bearish side, we got, what's that guy's name? Michael Pachter. We have some other fantasy anonymous analyst that has a $900 million revenue target. I don't know where this second analyst, which we don't know his name, he's got a much higher price target, revenue and earnings. I have no idea where it's going to come in. I do know that GameStop's still closing stores, but have they continued to whittle away at the costs? And at what point, really, my question is, at what point do you get diminishing returns on being able to cut locations and revenue versus improve margins. Like you can only do that to a certain point, and then it bottoms out, and you got to start growing revenue.
Especially when you have something like tariffs that are becoming more of the thing that's coming into play now. And you're seeing, more of them either coming or going, depending on Trump's mood at the time. But like that squeezes at margins. So like what effect is that having while you're trying to trim costs and everything? Because if you're cutting revenue, you're cutting the margin that you can have to absorb these sorts of things.
Yeah, obviously, I want GameStop to do well. I do have some shares, 2161. That makes people mad for some reason when I tell them my buy-in price, but I like to be upfront with you guys. I swing trade GameStop. Typically, I sell Corex right before the earnings, sometimes 2 minutes before market close, and not every time, but most every time, that's been a pretty good strategy.
Because people just bid it up into earnings and overbid it, and then there's a correction.
But so I don't know what I'm going to do this quarter. I haven't decided yet, because this is one where finally I think they have a chance, at least, of a surprise, a chance. I'm not guaranteeing anything.
This earnings will be interesting. What I'm more interested in is, and I know it's still in beta, but if we could get a breakout, please, on how the whole power packs thing.
It's been fascinating to watch people just plow money into that on the beta users. The very first beta users, you notice how every video was them pulling these amazing cards, amazing profits.
And then suddenly now we're on like it stopped.
Yeah, well, we got like the third tier beta users got access, and now they're making videos and they're losing their ass. It's like, how much money can I gamble and lose on a live stream without embarrassing myself? That's how bad it is.
Yeah, it's like it's like how you run any like sort of side game hustle. Like if me and Tony were running, and I was like, hey, and I go up to Tony and he does the little shuffle, the magic balls around, and I find it, I made money. And then of course the next couple of people that show up, they don't do so high.
You talking about the old shell game scam? Yeah. Here you go. Here's your money, sir. Oh, ma'am, you want to try? It up. It's got to be easy, right? Hand over your money. I mean, it will, I think, be good for GameStop. This selling of online cards, it fuels an addictive behavior, but I don't know that it, for everybody out there in the public, that it's going to be the best thing. I mean, most of the videos I've been watching lately, like I said, are people losing their asses, at least if they show more than one pull. And so I have concerns for people with gambling addictions and stuff like that, because it's so easy to do, and they've gamified it very well. Hey, top-notch job, GameStop. No joke. I mean, it looks phenomenal. And it's like you're at a literal casino.
Yeah.
You got lights, you got music, you got amazing reveals.
And even unlike a casino where at least you got chips or something, like if you choose to sell it back immediately, the card, their inventory never changes hands. It stays with it.
It is amazing.
It changes hands, your cash.
As a investor, as a shareholder, someone who will never gamble on that Power Pack website, I will never. I'd rather put the money into GameStop stock than gamble it away on a website. But as an investor, I'm excited to see it. I feel bad for the people that are going to lose money at it. But hey, let's go GameStop. I mean, it's about the company, not those poor saps that are losing $1,500 at a time.
And I think that's something you should clarify, because I've seen a lot of people in these meme stocks that they get kind of this sunk cost fallacy thing of, oh, I've invested now. If I, but you got to be careful not to spend too much money, and also understand that, if you're going to support the company, that's fine. But if you're going thinking that this will improve my investment, you're just, that's kind of almost like a sunk cost fallacy kind of thing. Like, the difference between you, Tony, you go to the movie with your family and you choose AMC instead of going to another theater, as opposed to I'm going to go there and then I'm going to buy a bunch of candy and then I'm going to buy a bunch of this and everything. And you make it almost like,
well, I mean, going to movies has always been a habit of mine since college, right? I get utility out of it. I get entertainment out of it. And if you want to say you get entertainment out of gambling, that's fine too. I go to Vegas. I get entertainment out of that. I have no problem with how people choose to spend their money. But yes,
there's a line in between there somewhere that you got to kind of be careful about.
I just don't want to see people overextend themselves thinking that they're, I mean, I'm not spending $1,500 in an hour on a movie,
right?
Correct. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've seen people do that on live streams on GameStop on the power packs. And it hurts my heart. And the audience, you know, is fueling the frenzy.
Well, that's what makes those live streams so bad, because you got a live audience right there. It's like being at a casino, except you have a live studio audience cheering you on to keep pulling the lever.
And you can see that they want to quit. You can see the fear in their eyes, but they don't want to disappoint the audience. So they keep digging their grave even deeper.
Yeah.
And then they got to do a regret video later about it. I don't know. I mean, guys, don't do like what I did. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I sure hope the wife doesn't check the credit card statement, Corex.
I'm gonna take a bet that if it's anyone's wife that I know, they definitely already have.
But hey, again, as an investor, I say thank you, gracias, and keep up the good work. I mean, help us out.
Yeah,
it's not how I plan on helping out. I'll go buy knickknacks. Every time we go buy a GameStop, my wife is like, "Oh, okay, let's go see what's on sale." She can't leave without buying some little knickknack. That's our contribution, Corex.
Yeah, I've gone in to GameStop a couple. Like the one that were near me is kind of a little out of the way and down on a busy main street. So I pop in every now and then. I was thinking about getting like I guess one of those like D&D dice packs there that they've got.
Don't forget to pick up get some controllers, because you know those wear out.
I usually game on my computer, so until the keyboard goes out, I think I'll be doing good.
Let's move over to AMC real quick. There's not much to say about AMC that I haven't already said on my weekly videos. We had the earnings. We're in Q3. Q3 is probably going to be a money losing quarter. Q4 will probably be a money making quarter, positive cash flow. But we have, against that backdrop, we've got the October proxy and the December vote where they're going to ask for more shares. So it's kind of an unknown for me right now. And what I was just looking at, box office for this weekend, the top 3 movies, 10, 20, are going to probably do under $35 million combined. And next weekend, Labor Day weekend, will be even worse.
Oof.
This is a rough time, this Q3. So my just general advice, look, I'm not here trying to scare anybody, but if you are one of those people asking yourself, why is the price stuck? Why do they keep pushing the price down? This quarter is not that great. And I mean, I posted the box office prediction for last weekend and someone said, "You're a douchebag." No, I'm reporting facts. That doesn't make me a douchebag. It means you would prefer hopium, I guess, but I try and give you guys hard, cold facts so you can make decisions and understand what is going on. And, you know, I'm sorry, it's not always good news. The only good news I can tell you is Q4 is going to be hella good, but we still got 5 weeks to suffer through and a vote. So it's anybody's guess what is going to happen. Mateo says, quick question. What are the thoughts on these treasury asset companies based in ESOL or DFDV? Could they achieve something as MSTR did? I've been watching Ethereum, and we talked about BMNR briefly in a live stream about a week ago, but I don't know that I have researched them enough to have any intelligent comments on it for tonight's live stream. Have you looked into those at all, Corex?
I don't really do any of these like these companies that are based around solely holding assets. personally, because I mean, I could understand these companies before some like, or if you're dealing with a current cryptocurrency that doesn't have a spot ETF, but like for the ones like, you know, Ethereum or Bitcoin that clearly have spot ETFs, just buy the crypto or the spot ETF. I really don't see the let's get rid of that. I don't see the point of buying into those companies, especially when they're companies that have no real business other than holding crypto. And it seems like with a lot of them, it's mostly just to hide that they're a scam shitco by buying a bunch of treasuries to try and dupe a bunch of people into buying their stock so they can then dilute them. So that's my big problems with those. I don't know about any of those tickers specifically because, like Tony said, I haven't really looked at them. But
I've always been a fan of Ethereum, and I kind of got out of investing in it when it started losing luster. And man, I kind of regret that now.
Yeah.
Someone is asking about Hycroft. Since we're talking about meme stops, let's just put that one up on the screen here real quick. HYMC. I did have some Hycroft that I bought after the dilution down here at $3 in June, and I sold it at $3.98 not even a month later, and now we're trading at $4.17. So I mean, what's not to like? If you are swing trading it, if you are holding it waiting to find out about what they are going to announce at the end of this year, if they stay on schedule with their technical report, that's a different type of DD. It's a different bet. And, you know, I don't know what that technical report's going to say. I don't know what the economics of the mine are going to be. So it is a bet that some people will make. I don't have any comment on whether or not that is going to be a good bet or not. I have only ever, when I trade Hycroft, which is rare, it's a trade. Buy it cheap, sell into run-ups. And since I sold at $3.98, it never really dropped down back around $3 again, where I'd be willing to risk some of my money.
Yeah, my big problem with like not just Hycroft, but a lot of these like mining operations is they're high risk, high reward. A lot of these dilute for a long time. They blow out hard, and I don't know. It's just not something that's in my wheelhouse that I really touch.
If I look at our basket here of gold stocks, they've been on a tear. Look at this. This is
because gold's been on a huge tear too.
GDXJ. And this one on the right, SILJ, is our basket of silver miners, junior silver miners. We got junior gold miners, junior silver. If we go to the daily on that, it's also been on a tear. So typically what we see with something like a Hycroft is if the basket is moving up, if metals are moving up, Hycroft is going to go up. So enjoy the ride while the metals are moving. For those of you making longer term bets, I don't have any words of advice for you, because it's a speculative bet on that technical report. We got a no revenue company. They're going to need to spend. Yeah. They're going to need to spend some money to get into the next phase of operation. I think everybody understands that by now. Money they don't have. So they have basically three options. Sell shares to raise cash, get loans to raise cash, or sell the company to someone with bigger pockets. It's going to work out one of those three ways. Or the fourth option, which I don't want to entertain, is this mine is not going to be economical. I don't think that's going to happen. Look, with the price of silver and gold moving up, every day they move up, that makes junior miners, more economically viable. But we got to see their plan. I can't comment on something when I hadn't seen the plan. So that's a gamble you're going to have to gut check yourself. Mateo says, out of my research, it seems these treasury companies are essentially shorting the US dollar and leveraging that, going long on a different asset class. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting if they are shorting the dollar. I mean, are you saying that you think that they're actively shorting the dollar, Or
No, I think he's just saying that they're buying it as a hedge against.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Let's move on to our next little meme stock, QNTM, Quantum Biopharma. Not a ticker that I am involved in at all, other than doing some DD on it because I find these trades and these meme stock communities fascinating. I've been following Quantum since 2024 when they filed this lawsuit. I think I've been following them before that. Oh yeah, they've been on my radar since 2023 when they hired Sheer Intel. I think that's what this first big era was.
And a whole bunch of reverse split and dilution later.
Yeah, that was it got crushed down to 270. It ran up after Kevin Malone started promoting it. Good job, Kevin. It ran up to $38. It's now down to $16. And I mean, this is how do I say this nicely? The company has no revenue, essentially. They're
they're looking towards like what, phase 2 now, which they've admitted they're going to need 30 million, which means more dilution.
I covered that in a video several months ago, how much money they're going to need to move through the steps of their trial for MS, the treatment. I don't know what the right word is to call it. Let's just call it a treatment. Years away, and they're going to need to continue to raise money. So that's just something to be aware of. You've got that weighing on the negative side, no revenue, and they need cash, versus on the other side, you've got a retail community that thinks that they're going to get some money from this company suing other parties for, well, people say naked shorting.
Spurious claims.
They say naked shorting, but apparently they're only suing them for what? What was it?
Spoofing.
Spoofing, yeah.
And Wes admitted in one of his posts that basically that he doesn't sue for naked shorting anymore because
the
to
burden
be halfway,
of evidence.
We talk about it a lot on my show because we tend to go over the lawsuits a bit more, but it's the Iqbal Twombly standard. You have to present enough evidence to show a plausible cause of action on its face. You cannot make conclusory allegations, and it's a lot easier to prove spoofing, even though I think it's still a pretty spurious claim, because you can actually look at the open source data that's out there, whereas a lot of what goes into like naked shorting, you need a lot more information, and there's an element that is really hard to prove, and that's intent.
I follow all of these stocks, Corex, because I am not a fan of market manipulation if it is occurring.
Sure.
And I would love to see any one of these companies actually get a win in court, like some vindication that all of these years of people making these claims that it's happening, like, let's get a win. But good Lord.
If it's true, I'm absolutely with you. But to date, it's been a big fat zero.
It because of that burden of evidence, right? They keep on running into a wall in the courts.
Well, they've been in discovery on a couple of these cases, so maybe we'll see. But like, what is it? Mullen has gotten to discovery. How long has Northwest Bio whatever been in discovery on their claims ever since they got like, again, litigation? I'm not going to take away for it. It takes a long time sometimes, but at the same time, some of these cases have had a long maturity date and still haven't, like, they've gotten over the motion to dismiss. They've gotten to discovery, and it's just been
we're gonna for those of you just joining, we're gonna watch this video in just a minute. 7 signs you are in a cult stock. I want to see what this guy has to say, but there's a couple of other tickers that I want to talk about. And related to QNTM is this sister company, also being promoted by Kevin Malone, Genius Group. And similar story here. I mean, I've been following Genius Group for many years, and I think I might have even traded it, or or attempted to swing trade it a couple of times. Let me see if I have anything on my chart here. Or maybe I'm getting confused with finger. I don't see any notes on my chart that I ever bought it. But this, I have covered the stock just because it's a money-losing company and people need to know there's no redeeming qualities about this company to buy it in my book. They're just not there yet.
Right.
It's not investable yet. Maybe one day it will be. I mean, he's trying really hard, but mostly what he tries is pressing the hot button of everything that retail traders care about in terms of crushing the naked shorts. Seems like Roger Hamilton's more interested in hitting headlines than actually fixing his income statement and balance sheet.
Well, to that was the biggest thing from this week was they had Kevin and Hamilton, and they had Wes, and then they also had Mark Bazile on. Only they spent weeks with, what was it, X Market News, talking about, oh, they're going to be having this meeting today.
I was so hyped. That account had me so hyped. It was
26 comes around. It's like, we'll talk to you in a month.
Lawsuit of the century any day. Promised by the end of July. No, I mean the end of August. Oh, so now we don't know when it's going to be. Let me delete all those tweets.
The real fail. No.
Who do you think who's behind X Market News?
The real FTDs is not any stocks being failed to deliver to customers. It's this fucking lawsuit. That's the biggest FTD there has been this whole year.
Oh man, that account has been hyping, and you know they seem really against market manipulation, but they hype something every day that doesn't become a reality. Is that market manipulation, would you think, Corex?
I would, like, legally speaking,
I mean, it's like they're trying
from it some way, but it sure feels that way.
They're trying to get people to invest in Genius Group based on a lawsuit that they're hyping relentlessly. X Market News
doesn't happen,
and it doesn't happen. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just hyping.
106, and then just is completely collapsing over the past 2 days, back down under 80 cents.
21 cents to $1.70, you know, whatever, $1.80, $1.90. That's a respectable swing trade opportunity for people that have their head screwed on straight. You guys got to get smarter. If you're stuck holding this stock and in the red, if you're stuck holding Quantum and you're in the red, you are still what we call a mark. You haven't learned that these companies need to raise money and they need you. And they pay people, they hire promoters to hype the stock up and get people to pile in, and then they dilute.
Yep. That's the other shoe I'm waiting to drop on. I know we got done talking about it a bit ago, but QNTM is like, they've gotten it up to a pretty decent price, and they've already diluted once, but like so far they've been waiting, and the stock's kind of bled out a little bit. I wonder if they're worried that it's such a low float stock. They need to promote it up higher, but like the longer they wait, it seems the more I mean, there's some support. It seems to be around this $16 to $17 range, but I don't know.
Yeah, it would be interesting to run the numbers on how much money do they need for the next year, and how many shares would they need to sell.
Right.
And, I mean, it would probably double the float, wouldn't you think?
Oh, I think at least, if not more. Which
is going to totally crater the price. But yes, I'm just keeping my lips shut on Quantum because look, that dilution is coming at some point. I think nothing against them. Nothing against them. They're in.
If they are honestly to raise money, if they are honestly trying to do some sort of research, it's going to be inevitable because they don't have anything currently in the pipeline. I mean, other than Unbuzzed, and that's like questionable efficacy, but and they're not getting much revenue from it. So the only thing that they can do is take money from investors to be able to fund this if they are legitimately trying. And if they aren't, well, we know where the money's going then too, but you know, to the CEO's house or whatever they were doing beforehand.
Mateo says, how do I apply to hype up these mini cap companies? I know, right, Mateo?
Yeah.
Some of these guys are getting really good.
Stephen Van Meter.
Ask Stephen Van Meter, who is that?
Yeah. He's one of the more popular, like he does a stock show. The only reason I know him is because I follow a guy, and he has him on Jeff Schneider has him on his show a couple times, and you go to his channel and almost every night, this channel is sponsored by X ticker. X ticker is burr, 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 and then there's the disclaimer and everything. So if you want to know how much money you can make shilling stocks, just go ask Stephen Van Meter.
Hey, if someone would pay me, I'd do it too. But make sure, guys, if you're doing that, that you're disclosing that you're getting paid, because you don't want to run afoul.
You have to.
You don't want to run afoul of SEC regulations.
Yeah.
I have no problem with what Kevin's doing, because, you know, at least he's honest enough to disclose it.
And his hand is forced.
Well, I mean,
the company was more honest than he was during that episode. That's how we found out.
And he did a fine job for both of these companies. I mean, maybe not for investors, but for the companies, he's done a fine job. For the investors that sold and locked in profits at the top, he did a fine job for them too. All right, let's get this screen off and put on the screen for our video. Stop screen sharing.
I've already watched this. I know it's going to be good.
Entire screen. All right, it is this one. Sorry, I have a bunch of screens here, so I'm trying to figure out.
I know how that is every Saturday.
Share system audio. I think we should be able to hear. I'm going to play just a couple seconds. Let me know if you guys can hear this guy talking.
Number 1, people say, welcome aboard when you buy. You just bought shares? Welcome to the party.
Can y'all hear that okay? I'm going to pause for a second and light my cigar. Let me know in the chat if you could hear his audio okay. Dink says he likes MSTR preferred stocks generating cash flow. There's something to be said about preferred, Dink. But isn't MSTR having trouble selling their preferred right now?
Yeah, because they're getting ready to do some dilution, I think. At least I heard.
All right. We'll stop. This is only a 13-minute video, but I want your guys' comments live as we're watching it. And Corax and I will probably have some comments. I want to make sure we're stopping the video every couple minutes, Corax, and actually talking about it, so we're not stealing his content. But if you want to go watch this video yourself, it's Kamikaze Cash on YouTube. Kamikaze Cash. This is a new video out in the last day. Top 7 signs you're in a cult. Let's see what he has to say.
Number 1, people say, welcome aboard when you buy. You just bought shares? Welcome to the party. You're part of the ship and part of the crew. Other investors are celebrating and slinging rocket emojis at you. This is not normal. People do not congratulate strangers on the internet when they buy shares of Microsoft, and they certainly don't treat investing like a team sport.
Corex, have you ever been congratulated for buying a stock?
No. Well, the only time was when I mentioned that I had Fannie Mae, but again, I've already sold that.
Who congratulated you, Pulte?
Yeah, not Pulte. just some of the people that when I use the hashtag. But yeah, for the most part, no, not really.
The Prudential subreddit and tell them that you bought shares. See if you get rocket emojis and people welcoming you to the battle against the short sellers. But when you're in a cult stock, every other trader is going to give you internet hugs like you just joined the family. And the reason they do that is subconscious. They want the aura around the stock to be overwhelmingly positive. So
the other thing that I think we should just point out, kind of like the elephant in the room here, these cult stocks, as he is referring to them, are all stocks which are heavily shorted, right?
Usually for a reason.
Right. Well, this is what, I've tried to move the education part of my channel to making sure people are asking the question. It's okay with me if you like to speculate in shorted stocks. They can have massive moves up, but you should be willing to ask and know the answer to why is it being shorted.
Yeah.
I think that is foundational, because that is how you understand your risk. And if you come on a camera or a comment or Twitter and you tell me, I don't understand it, explain to me how GameStop could only be a fair value of $13. If you can't understand it, you got a lot of education that you're lacking. You got a lot of learning to do. You are still in cult status. You're not even open to trying to learn about finance or accounting.
Yeah. And the whole, when he's talking about there with the emotional thing, they try and puff you up and everything. Yeah, it's called love bombing. It's a classic attack.
Isn't love bombing done by isn't love bombing done by narcissists?
Well, that too. I mean, but yeah, there's.
Or is that what's the other one? Where they have two personalities? Bipolar.
Yeah.
They love bomb you, then they rug pull you. All right, let's move on. Let's not get into relationship psychology. That's a topic for a whole nother night, Ape Father.
That more people are enticed to buy and the stock goes higher so they can sell. But when the hype stock starts dropping, and it will, that family dynamic starts getting ripped to shreds when someone in the family actually sells.
Yeah, I can attest to that, Corex.
Yeah. I'm betting the echo is because he's got the desktop recorder to be able to record the audio.
Oh, is there is an echo?
Yeah.
Well, I can maybe try and mute my no, if I mute my speaker, then you won't be able to hear it. How do we frickin' fix this? Restream. While I'm working on this, I just want to say, like, when we were investing in AMC, for example, back in 2021, it was high short interest, huge cash position, and they had plenty of shares. But then as we moved further and further into 2022 and 2023, less and less cash to almost to the point of no cash, no shares, and the short interest was dropping. I had to exit the play, and all of a sudden got ostracized by a lot of people. A lot of people don't like it, just like some of these people up on the screen here. They don't like. In fact, some of the people who are now in Project Popcorn, when I started leaving the trade mediocre, or I started talking about fundamentals in 2022, in 2023, when I started talking about, hey, we need to start paying attention to the balance sheet, they said, oh no, get this guy off the reservation. Get him the hell out of here. Eat the Popcorn Project people.
That, I think, the biggest grift. Like, part of it is they are halfway to the truth and halfway not there. But also, a lot of them are a bunch of grifters trying to rehab and retcon history. Hi, I'm from Boston. Hi, scam investor. Like, grifters trying to pretend like they knew the real story all along.
We were talking about the balance sheet and the risk of bankruptcy long before Ape got announced. And people didn't like that even back then. They certainly still don't like it. But
I don't think there's any bankruptcy threat, which is hilarious.
Paying attention to that stuff has been instrumental in us not losing a lot of money in the AMC trade. It's just a swing trade. Buy it cheap, sell under run-ups. watch the box office, understand what corporate actions the company might throw at you, and get out of the way if you think they're coming. That's basically it.
With like why, again, understanding why people are short, like, they're hedging the bonds, or they know that the company is going to dilute. So it's really easy to use AMC as a carry trade. You take the haircut on the weak cost tomorrow, you know out of there it has to dilute and every run up, and you can carry that money to get free money elsewhere.
On this next 30 or 60-second segment, Corex, I'm going to mute you and me for a second and just play the audio of the video, and let's see if the echo goes away, all right?
Well, the echo is only when I talk. It's not being video.
Oh, I thought it was a video that had...
No.
Huh. Well, that's weird.
Tell people you sold and you'll get hammered with accusations of spreading FUD, being a hedge fund puppet, or having paper hands and selling at the bottom. It literally feels like leaving a cult. Apple investors do not shame sellers. That only exists in cult stocks. Number 2, people say when moon and when Lambo after the stock has already mooned. When a stock is shooting higher, sometimes triple-digit percentages in a day, that's happening because a load of people are buying shares. The more the stock is up.
Also because shorts are covering, wouldn't you say?
It depends on the situation, yeah.
I mean, if it is a heavily shorted stock, a lot of times the last leg of this move up, and then you get that needle, the shadow of the bar up well above it. Those are shorts covering a lot of times, I think. But once you see that needle, you got to get the fuck out, because that buying pressure is drying up and it's going to crash.
Mm-hmm. And some of it is like just the stock has a very low flow. Like when we're talking about QNTM, the reason why it pushed around so much is there's not a lot of trading, very thin, spreads are wide, but it's also the same way getting out of the stock too.
I'm going to see if, let's see if Quantum had a needle of death here. Oops. Hang on one second. Yeah, they kind of did. All right. When you see, and you can pull up just about any meme stock and you'll see this sort of chart. Quantum, where you at? See this shadow going way up above the candle?
That thin wick.
Yeah, we call that, thanks to Super Steven, the needle of death. And almost all of these trades have that. These short squeeze plays. That is a good sign.
A candle and a wick on the top and a wick on the bottom. That's crazy.
Don't even worry about the wick on the bottom. When you see the candle with a huge wick above it, if you're going into the next day and you've seen that on the previous day, it's a pretty good chance you're about to get effed.
And sure enough, 2 down red days right after that, really hard.
And I say that, nothing against Quantum. I've seen this pattern on so many different short squeeze tickers.
And you can see almost the same thing, the next tallest candle before you got to that 31 high, where it was another one of those where you had a really high wick.
And it had a huge drop right after it. Yep. All right.
The lower the IQ of the people buying the hype. Down here, you've got the pumpers and whales accumulating. Then in the middle, you've got the influencers and apes looking to get their cut. And here at the top, you've got the FOMO traders and noobs. This is the room temperature IQ crowd, and they're the ones who buy a stock that's already up 400%, asking when moon. After the noobs and FOMOs are on board, there's no one left to buy. They're the exit liquidity. And once they're in, that's when the whales and pumpers start the dump phase.
I also think, Corex, that some of this is just opinion, but after watching so many of these over the years, I still think it has to do with some of the shorts covering. that peak, yes, it is FOMO buyers getting in late for sure, because we've seen the testimonials from thousands of them over the years in different tickers, right? But I think it also is the shorts that we're going to covered. And there's no more short buying.
It's a twin buying pressure. There's no one to push it up, either for the shorts or for people that have already bought the top. Everyone's tapped down. They don't just to go and set it down.
Yep. And once that downward pressure starts, it can be violent and fast.
Stock will tank, and the influencers, FOMOs, and noobs, they'll start a 2-year bag holder cope cycle. Do not be the FOMO trader. And if you are, recognize the signs that the stock is done. Remember that you're more likely to buy here than here. And when the whales have dumped, you are here. Stop fighting. That brings us to the next sign. Number 3, the hedgies are hitting your stock with a short ladder attack. We've seen it time and time again. When a new meme stock sells higher, everyone says hedgies are fucked, short sellers are getting destroyed, blah, blah, blah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
How do short sellers get fucked when the price is collapsing?
They don't.
I don't understand the logic behind that argument.
I mean,
isn't that putting money in their pocket? I mean, if you shorted the top of that chart that he had up there, wouldn't you make money on the way down?
Oh, yeah. All the way.
Would you think that there's new shorts coming into play at the top?
At the top, probably, yeah. That probably accelerated the downside. Once they saw the momentum out and it's coming back down, then you get the additional pressure that kind of follows for the rest of selling.
I don't really get this shorts are fucked when the price is collapsing thing, because number one, the ones that shorted at the top are making money hand over fist, and number two, the ones that decided to ride it out are breathing a sigh of relief that the price is coming down.
And most of these people that are shorts are professional, not all of the retail traders. They got all the liquidity to set out a minor spike where they get margin involved. Like, I don't think people understand still how rare like the GameStop experience was. Like, the hedge funds being way over levered in one position by so much, and just pressure being up there for so long. Like that was like a black swan, and to expect.
Does the Russ, does the echo go away if Corex is talking and I take the screen share off?
We can see about that. I'm just dead now. Wow. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Why can't I?
I think it maybe the echo is because I have a screen share and your voice is coming through not only your mic but my my screen share. Yes, Tito, that is Kamikaze Cash on YouTube. All right, they're saying no echoes. So Corex, make sure and remind me to turn the screen share off before you add in a comment. All right, let's play a little more here.
The stock is going parabolic, 200% in a day. Traders are circle jerking in the comments section on how smart they are. And next thing you know, 30% drop in 2 minutes. The whales dumped. You might get a dead cat bounce, but over time, traders will abandon the stock for greener pastures. The stock will continue to trend down because bag holders are selling. That's when the cope begins. Once you see
that is when the cope begins. I don't like using that, Corex, but I know you, that's a phrase that you've embraced, the copium. Do you have any comments to share? I feel bad when people are.
No, I understand it completely. And like all this stuff is, if you want to understand kind of the situation that forms these kind of communities that I've seen in the meme stock community, Stephen Hassan's book, Combating Cult Mind Control, is great because it explains exactly all this stuff, like how they use emotions to manipulate you, like how they pump, like they control the narratives and control people seeing narratives, and then use peer pressure to try and change people And that's why like copium is the key word here, because it's people who aren't they it's not that information isn't out there and readily available for them to seek. They actively choose not to seek it out. That's why it's copium. They're just huffing the fumes of people confirming their own bias.
And then once that cycle has kind of played itself out, then it turns, the only people left are the most vile.
Dedicated.
Well, you say dedicated, I say vile.
Well, I'd agree with that too. I'm just saying. But like, it's like what Hannah Reloaded said. It's like the conservation of a cult, where once you've had, like you said, that run up, all of the people who realize, shoot, I kind of screwed myself. Okay, they leave, and they leave quietly. It's like quiet quitting. They just leave, and it's progressively the people that are left are crazier.
I've seen that in a lot of different communities. It is unfortunate. Like I don't know. I don't comment about MMTLP much, but they're eating each other alive in that community.
Because eventually they don't have, it's like them in the Bed Bath & Beyond community. They don't have anything to talk about. Their stock's dead. The other one, it doesn't trade because the company won't get them a freaking QSIP, so it will trade. Like, that has nothing to do with FINRA or anybody else. That's the company. And so all they have to do is snipe at each other and snipe at us and snipe at other people they don't like.
That is well past the copium stage. And I guess maybe those two communities are the worst right now that I see out there, because they don't have a trading ticker. They don't have a trading ticker. At least you could stay in the copium stage if you got a chance.
Right.
Your ticker's still alive, you got a chance. But once your ticker is delisted and dead,
yeah, boy,
look out. Yeah.
It's done. The cult stock is cooked. The mythical short ladder attack is the first stage of the 2-year bag holder cope cycle. Bag holders convince themselves that the stock is not dropping because people are losing interest, but because there are unspecified hedge funds coordinating with each other to spoof selling pressure. In the short ladder attack, multiple dark entities will short shares back and forth to each other, taking small losses when they buy someone else's short shares in order to make it look like the investor.
Now, Corex, hang on one second. Is he saying that short ladder attacks really exist, or is he?
No, he's just explaining what people believe.
Okay. I wasn't clear.
Yeah, no, he's just explaining it. And like, the first question that I just blurted out there, and unfortunately got the echo, but is the question that you should explain, that you should have in your mind anytime you hear one of these conspiracy theories. Why would someone take on massive losses just to stick it to you? Like, why? What's the game plan there? Seriously, like, just apply that thin little bit of logic, and suddenly it just kind of unravels itself.
I would ask a more logic-based, fact-searching question, and I don't know the answer. Where was the DD, the evidence that short ladder attacks were a real thing?
Yeah.
Right? I get the theory of it. Where did that theory come from? Like, was it based on actual evidence? Do we have a court case where someone got in trouble for short ladder attacking?
I think it depends on the broker there, Zachary, because I would agree some of these shittier brokers like Robinhood and Webull are really bad about the educational aspect. But like, I get free like Fidelity sends me emails of, hey, we're doing another seminar. Would you like to join it so you can be more educated? Here's our YouTube page where we do videos almost weekly, if not daily, about educational things about the stock market. So you got to kind of also select for a company that has your best interest in mind. Like Fidelity also has a lot of these 401k funds and stuff like that. So they have an interest of having a more informed investor, whereas Robinhood makes money off of payment for order flow, and it benefits them.
Even Webull offers investor education stuff. I get once a week messages. Hey, do you want to sign up for our seminar? We're going to talk about options trading. And I mean, I've listened in on a couple of them. This is not lightweight stuff. They're actually trying to teach people.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of it is like you got to look out for it, and a lot of brokers do provide it. It's just I think a lot of people just don't take
I think
advantage of it.
the biggest disappointment I have, Corex, is there's been a lot of people that spent a lot of time doing DD on theories from Reddit and stuff, which is fine, sharing their theories, but very few have taken an equal amount or any amount of time trying to learn about accounting, finance, discounted cash flows, fair value analysis, anything that, any normal person that is a dedicated investor would do. A lot of people don't even read the 10 Qs or listen to the earnings calls or vote in a shareholder meeting. Like,
that's always the thing that frustrates me the most is like, if you want to take personal control of your finances, like other than, managing your portfolio, the next best thing you can do is being an involved investor in the company that you own.
And I don't say that, I'm not throwing stones from a glass house here. I literally was that kid back in my 20s, back when we didn't have all these electronic brokers where they would mail me the 10K. It'd be 50-page book.
Yep.
And I would sit there and read it.
So, but most people would just,
yeah. I've always found that stuff both important and fascinating, especially if you're marrying this stock for a long term. You better know what is in that 10K every page.
Yeah, like what Zachary said is like, and Robinhood's gotten in trouble for it, how they've kind of gamified finance and they've had to change their path. I don't know how well they have because I don't use Robinhood anymore, but yeah, I mean the confetti when you made a purchase, everything like that. So
NASCAR says my main focus is finding recent trends in small caps and try and get in the next play as early as possible, constantly adapting to the next play. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
I kind of like that kind of strategy. My early strategy, and it may pay out even now, we'll see, is especially if you have an economic contraction, is I like finding small caps where the company is already profitable, but they're kind of under the radar. No one sees them. It's at a low market cap, but it's decently profitable. A lot of big companies, rather than having to build something from scratch, they'll just go gobble. And you'll get a nice premium on the shares because some bigger company thought it'd be cheaper to just absorb a small cap.
Well, help a brother out and let us know about those when you find them.
Well, I haven't found any recently.
Are bailing out. This will entice organic selling pressure to tank the stock price, at which point the hedge funds can cover and go long at a cheap share price. Bag holders of a cult stock will try to spin this as a short hedge fund panicking, and that traders should double down to stick it to them and cause a short squeeze. The problem is, this kind of attack doesn't really even seem to exist. Google Trend Analysis will show you that the term only comes up when a cult stock is dumping.
Interesting. He kind of answered my question, like, where did this come from? The short ladder attack? It looks like it started around the time GME was pumping.
And then every time there's been a major pump, like he had AMC, even FTX, when it was doing its collapse, apparently that was the thing. Wow, okay. News to me.
Interesting. Recycling the DD.
And even if you do believe that the short ladder attack exists, fighting this is like trying to punch a burglar in the knife. If hedge funds are attacking...
What did he say? Trying to punch
it's like trying to punch a burglar in the knife.
Oh, in the night. Okay.
Yeah, like he's got the knife and you're trying to punch the knife.
Your stock using illegal manipulation tactics. You'll want to own a different stock. You as the retail investor with $5,000 is not going to defeat the multi-billion-dollar hedge fund with trading bots.
That is another good point, honestly. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but I've been asking that out loud more often. Like, if you think that there is manipulation in the market, which I do, much of it legal and much of it based on their fair value analysis, they're going to suppress the price. That's the word I choose to use. They're going to hold the price down. Basically, they're willing to short it. As long as people are willing to push it up, they will short it back down, because they know that no big money is going to come in and trade against them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Imagine you got a shitty stock that gets bid up 5x, and some hedge fund's going to come in there and push the price back down because they know that no other institutional buyer is going to go against them until it reaches
back
what the
down to
market
fair value
considers
again.
fair value. And then,
and on top of that, you're going to also have the same situation we talked about last time, where there's no one that's going to come in to save you. If it's 7x fair value, you've ran out of suckers who are going to come in and push it higher than that. The higher you go, the less people you're going to have, and it's going to be much easier for the price to come back down to where fair value is.
That's why I think for a lot of these meme stocks or cult stocks, whatever you want to call them, understanding what fair value is an important exercise, because if you really are in love with the stock, you can, okay, what is fair value? What are the analysts saying? What are the people I don't like saying, so that I can try and get a price closer to that, instead of buying every day for the last 4 years on the way down and then bragging about the quantity I own while being in the red. You know, it's not a good look. I'd rather just wait and buy it at the bottom if I can.
And it should be something that you should do, because it gives you an idea of like a margin of safety for what is my downside risk? How much pain could I have to take, and how much am I willing to take? And is that really worth it?
Yeah. Good point.
If a hedge fund is attacking your stock, you can make money by shorting it too. Then cover later when the stock starts going up again. Trust me, you are not sticking it to anyone by losing money buying a meme stock that's already done its thing. Number 4, you think analysts are placing low price targets to tank the stock so they can buy lower. It happens every time a horrible stock gets dumped. Analysts from Barclays, Jefferies, Bear Stearns back from the dead, all of them pile on with low price targets and bearish DD to warn their people not to YOLO in. It's reasonable for the analyst to see a meme stock rising and cover it, because that will generate a lot of clicks and everyone will read their article. But if you think an analyst is placing a low price target on your stock so that the price drops and the analyst can buy at a lower price, you're experiencing what is called bias.
What do I think about that? Here's what I think, Corex. Analysts, like let's say Michael Packer, for example, he's just doing a traditional discounted cash flow. I think he is biased because he's not allowing any upside potential for what GameStop could do. Because why? Because management is not communicating any plan. So all he can do is run a DCF and say what the stock's worth.
Yeah.
And they'll keep raising money, and he'll have to keep raising his fair value target, because the book value per share keeps going up as they dilute. But the fundamental analysis that he's doing, the methodology hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's hard to make projections if you're not given anything to project by management.
But all of these other companies, do you think that the analysts are giving a low price because they want to buy it cheap? I don't know. I mean, most of these companies have no revenue or have upside down balance sheets. I don't think there's hardly any institutions or analysts bending over backwards to go buy these stocks, even when they're cheap.
And it makes sense for the person to do it. Like he said, a lot of these reports, like they either say hold or they don't move the price. They're just doing an update because it gets more eyes on their report, which means more potential customers for their client or whoever they're working for, themselves. If they're a reporting agency, you know, like Wedbush, if they've got a client that's covering AMC, that draws more eyes to Wedbush's entire suite of products.
Yeah. Zachary says, what do you use for fair value calculation? Zachary, I did a video about maybe a month ago, giving you guys a free tool to go use, a web-based tool to do discounted cash flow analysis, but every one that you run is going to be different because you have to input your assumptions. So that is really where the art comes in. And I can't say that there's any right or wrong way to do it, as long as you're being realistic about your assumptions, and then maybe model some different assumptions in case yours is not correct.
That's what's really tricky about finances. There's definitely a part of it that can be science, like the research, the balance sheet, all that stuff. But like, none of us have a crystal ball. Last time I checked, I cannot forecast the future Powerball numbers. So I have no clue what revenue or earnings for any company is going to be in the future, and neither do you. So the best you can do is guess.
Yep.
And
even
that's the art of it.
With GameStop, I refuse to guess, because even the people that guess are wrong 90% of the time. And with AMC, I can guess. AMC, IMAX, Cinemark, Marcus Corp, all of these movie theater companies that we trade.
The entire revenues from the
we can guess them because we get the box office every day and we understand their cost models. That's very easy to do. There's no guessing. We know with a reasonable certainty what their revenue is going to be.
Yeah.
Marcus Corp is the hardest because they have hotels in addition to movie theaters. So, all right, let's see what else he's got to say here. But yeah, go check that video out, Zachary. Maybe you'll see something useful there.
Wager that almost nobody in a cult actually reads the bearish DD from an analyst, but immediately dismisses it as FUD. They'd say the analyst actually thinks the stock will go up, but rather than buy it and place a high price target, they spread FUD so they can buy cheaper. Oscar Health was trading for $14.31 when analyst David Windley from Jefferies lowered his price target from $9 to $8. He basically rehashed his bearish thesis to get fresh clicks on a trending stock. But to the Oscar bag holder who bought shares at $21, healthcare sector analyst David Windley actually believes the stock deserves a $40 price tag, but wants to buy at $8 instead of $14. In real life, analysts do not take their own success rate to $15. In real life,
July 10th,
$1. Healthcare sector
July 10th. The stock was trading. I got Oscar Health here. July 10th, the stock was trading at 16, 17 bucks. It went down to $12.85. It's back at 17. So I guess that analyst was not correct, at least not in the short term.
Analyst David Windley actually believes the stock deserves a $40 price tag, but wants to buy at $8 instead of $14. In real life, analysts do not tank their own success rate to try to screw with your meme stock. If they think a stock should trade higher, they buy shares and slap a buy rating on it. If you think the analysts looking for fresh clicks are trying to spread FUD so they can buy your meme stock at a lower price, you're lying to yourself to rationalize why someone would be bearish on a stock you really want to moon so you can sell it.
I hear a lot of people calling the analyst price targets or fair value analysis FUD. I hear that. I've never heard
you dislike.
I've never heard somebody say what this guy just talked about in the last minute. I've never heard someone say that analysts are given a low price target because they want to buy in cheaper. I have not heard that. Have you guys?
I haven't either. That's a new one, but most of the time it's just it's fun. If anything, they're shorting it and they want it to go to that price.
Zachary says, have you done a fair value for AMC? Yeah, the one that I did, Zachary, I did a couple of fair value videos on GameStop, and then I followed it a couple days later with a thumbnail that says something like free discounted cash flow tool. It was about a month ago. I have not done a DCF for AMC because the company is not generating profits. It's really, you can do a DCF on a company that is not profitable, but you have to make some assumptions about when it is going to be profitable. And I'm not willing to go on the record trying to do that with AMC. I got to see them really turn the corner with cost reductions and box office being at a point where they're consistently profitable. So what I say about the fair value for AMC is it's trading on speculation about future box office, and the price is just a speculative price. It's the people that are bullish versus the people that think the company's going to dilute shareholders into oblivion. And there's a battle, and right now that battle line is at 288 or 283, whatever it's at. That you can't value a stock when the balance sheet is upside down. If AMC were to shut its doors, everyone is going to lose money, including the lenders. So it has no value. The value is, what is the cheapest I can get in right before they turn the corner? That is speculative, and that's fine. I'm gonna make that bet again at some point, but I got to see a little more of the risk taken out of the play. Do you have any other thoughts on that, Corex?
No, I think that pretty well covers that.
Zachary says, why doesn't it go lower? I mean, because maybe some institutions are betting. Maybe there's support, or maybe it's just retail buyers. I don't know. I don't know. Why doesn't it go lower? At some point, it can't be pushed down anymore until more bad news comes out.
That's just kind of some of the momentum kind of fuzzy feel. It's hard to tell at that point.
And I think that, there are people that are bullish that Q4 is going to be good also. It's just in this no man's land for five more weeks while we wait to find out what's on the proxy.
Number 5, finfluencers are making up reasons to be bullish. I'd like to use an analogy here. If you've ever been to Paris or Naples, you've seen groups of about 4 to 5 Albanians standing in a circle around a game of ball. You're supposed to place a wager and then follow the ball.
There's that shell game you were talking about.
If you pick up the right one, you win money. It sounds deceptively easy, almost too easy, and people are suspicious. So, the game master has his friends stand around playing, making it look super easy to win money. That way, when a tourist shows up and sees a guy win 50 euros, the tourist wants to win 50 euros too. So he plays, and then the magician makes the ball disappear and you lose money. The tourist only lost money because he saw someone else win. Now, traditionally, you buy shares of stocks because you think the company is good and will make profit for its shareholders. You've looked at the company and its stock, decided you want to own it, and you buy shares. That's the traditional investing method. That's not what happens with Colt stocks. You see someone screenshot 300% gains on out-of-the-money calls on a meme stock, and you become that tourist. You buy shares because you want to make money. The stock may go up or down in the immediate term.
Hang on, let me turn this off so we don't have an echo. What'd you say?
I said it's funny seeing Coles up there considering the run it had on earnings.
Yeah, I saw that they barely beat, right?
They barely beat, and then they forecasted that the year would be a little bit better. Like, they improved it from we could lose 6 to 5% on top line revenue to we could lose 3 to 6, and they moved it. We could lose 3 to 5. It's like it was a 1% change in what they thought end of year top line revenue would be, and man, did everyone freak out!
Wow. That is a huge run up on Kohl's. KSS. All right.
But you are the exit liquidity for when the stock dumps. And when it does, it creates bag holders. And those bag holders need other people to keep buying shares so that they themselves can recoup their losses. This is when you start seeing Twitter accounts or Reddit users making up nonsensical reasons to be bullish. They seek to convince themselves that their investment is good and convince others to pump their bags back up. You as the bag holder need to be convinced that you bought shares because you like the company's fundamentals, even if that's patently false. And it is easy to make bag holders believe that they should buy more because they want to believe their underwater shares are a good investment. So you can really just feed them anything. Talk about forward price.
I have seen some evidence of this, Corex, and the ones that I call out. It's one thing to have an opinion, look, everybody has opinions. That's cool. But like when finger motion was being pumped,
Right.
and people like Ace, this guy Ace, that the circle he runs in, he posted a fake analyst report with a ridiculous price target.
Like when
and when I all I did was ask him, can you send me the link to the report so I can do my own DD? He went on some emotional rant, called me a shill, and blocked me for asking for a source of your.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Bro, you tweeted it to I thought we were friends.
Reminds me of C-Plant and MMTLP forging the Railroad Commission statistics about how much oil that Nextbridge had been pumping with Photoshop. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I went on the Texas Land website and looked up those oil reports myself, and the data did not match his screenshots. Yeah. C-Plant. Other fake DD,
that one was really interesting because he was actually a bondholder in Nextbridge. So the market manipulation.
You would think. I mean, you'd think that'd be an actionable offense. Another good example of fake DD put out by bulls is again on finger. These guys, same people, were saying that Alibaba is making a major investment in finger motion at, I don't know what they said, $5 or $10 a share. I'm like, it's trading at $2. You are lying to people that Alibaba is going to come in and buy a certain amount of shares for 2-3x the current price. And of course, that never happened either. Those type of just blatant lies really piss me off. People just having opinions like, oh, box office is going to be better next year. All right, well, that's an opinion. And, some people, the industry actually believes it. If that's the bull thesis you want to run with and promote, you can't really argue with it, right?
Right.
But you still have to survive until then in your trade. So I don't, even the people that say, GameStop's going to make 900 million in revenue this quarter, maybe they will. I don't know. I don't try and shut those people down or say anything bad about them. That is their opinion. It's a guess. It might happen.
Odds are they probably won't, though.
Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But if you told me that Alibaba's, going to buy GameStop and you don't provide any evidence, I'm going to be like,
press release.
What's your favorite phrase? Citation needed.
Yeah, with the old Wikipedia citation needed in brackets.
All right.
To sales ratios on a health insurance stock when you should be using the combined ratio of medical loss and expense ratios. Use earnings per share when talking about a real estate investment trust, even though the relevant metric would be funds from operations. Talk about how diluting shares is metric would be fun. A health insurance stock more because they want to believe their underwater shares are a good investment. So you can really just feed them anything. Talk about forward price to sales ratios on a health insurance stock when you should be using the combined ratio of medical loss and expense ratios. Use earnings per share when talking about a real estate investment trust.
You know what? I see this like on GameStop. There's a couple of these pumper channels where they only will talk about book value per share.
I can't imagine who you're talking about, Tony.
They don't want to talk about earnings per share or, profit margins compared to competitors. They misdirect you by focusing on the one thing that's
it's always changing. The metric is always changing. They're always moving the goalpost.
And on AMC, I see people do this too. Look at the price to sales ratio, guys, compared to the competitors. This is undervalued stock. I mean,
well, you already lost me because I think price to sales is one of the most loony, like if you're going to go by top line.
It should never be your first go-to. And if that's all you're talking about, you already lost me. Like you're way too far in the weeds. No financial analyst worth their salt is going to start off by talking about this stock is undervalued based on the price to sales ratio. No, talk to people about things that matter. Earnings per share, cash flow. That's how, the balance sheet. How's the working capital look? I'm talking about to the AMC people. For those of you listening to someone pushing price to sales, this is a misdirection, and this video is nailing it. It's a misdirection to
especially
not talk
how
about the stuff
some
that
of those
matters.
metrics are specific to the business, like the one that you got to before you wound it back about talking about REITs, like, oh, you're looking at EPS when really you should be looking at how much is being generated from the properties that the REIT owns.
Yep.
Even though the relevant metric would be funds from operations. Talk about how diluting shares is good for existing shareholders. The DD doesn't even need to hold up against the slightest bit of scrutiny. It just needs to sound good to FOMO traders who don't know the difference between free cash flow and EBITDA. Just tell people they're making a good investment and they should buy more. They're not going to ask questions. If you are a bag holder, reflect on this. You didn't buy shares because you did DD and decided the stock was good. You bought shares because you thought the stock would go up due to other people buying it. And now that you're underwater, you're going back to convince yourself the shares are still a good investment. You are feeding your bias. Instead, recognize this bias in yourself and take it from the top. Are you buying more shares because you actually think the company is good, or because you really want the stock price to go up so you can get your losses back?
I just don't think enough people are capable of doing that analysis and in combination be honest with themselves.
It's a lot harder, like as we've seen before, when money's involved. You will rationalize anything. It's the gambler's fallacy. It's greater fool theory. I can always find some other idiot to buy it at a stupid price.
Even when those of us like me or you or other people, that like to talk the financial statements, try and explain the finance side, the emotions won't let people listen to it
Right.
in an honest way. They just
It's
have
a
a
lot
negative
easier
reaction.
sometimes if you have, like, again, this is how cults operate. It's sometimes a lot easier if you get, like we have right now, you one-on-one, someone that you can talk to rationally. But when you trying to do it on like social media, when there's a whole group, like remember when we were talking about the guy running the live stream where he was doing the lever pulls and he's got a whole crowd behind him. Now imagine every meme stock cult, how they control everyone is it's like that every time you're on social media. Everything you said is being tracked by the cult. You could probably have a reasonable person with a lot of these people just chilling with them. But, on a live stream or out there chatting on social media, they know that the cult will come and eat them alive if they say or do anything wrong. And that's how they control people.
Yeah. I have people that come at me from both sides on AMC. The Super Bulls hate me and try and discredit me continuously. And the people that hate the company do the same way. I'm just simply reporting on the financial statements, but both sides cannot stand it.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Number 6. A stock started gaining traction on Wall Street Bets, and now its own subreddit has all the discussion. Wall Street Bets is all about whipping it out and swinging for the fences. Refreshingly, that usually doesn't mean pump and dumps, but rather a real conviction about a certain stock, or just straight up luck. But occasionally, however rare, a pump and dump will indeed cross our tape and make our subreddit its home. People jump in, the stock sells, and then the hype dies. As I say this in late July, the door...
Do you ever spend any time on Wall Street Bets? I do not.
I don't either. I used to, right after the GameStop squeeze, I poked my head in there. And there's some intelligent people like, Kamikaze Cash is one of them. There's a bunch of people that I learned a lot from on there, but it just became so noisy after the whole GameStop squeeze that it takes real effort to find the diamonds in all of the sewage sludge going on that platform.
I think that's, why I don't go on Reddit a whole lot is I don't have time, first of all, to sift through and find the real gems, but
right.
Maybe I'm missing out.
stocks. Krispy Kreme Donut, Open Door, Rocket Lab, and Kohl's are the hot ones. In my opinion, Rocket Lab shouldn't be included since it's actually got some decent prospects, but
Oh, look at that. He's pumping Rocket Lab.
that's beside the point. In time, the dork stocks will die. Krispy Kreme is losing money. Open Door is headed to bankruptcy. Kohl's sales are cratering. This pump will make many bag holders, and Wall Street bets will become bored of their copish DD, and those tickers will no longer be welcome. When your stock gets kicked off Wall Street bets and has to retreat to its own subreddit, it's over. We saw this with Faraday Future, ticker FFIE, now FF.
Didn't they kick GameStop out of Wall Street bets too, or not?
I think GameStop too, AMC for sure, Faraday Future. There's a bunch of them that, like, some of them didn't even get a chance on Wall Street bets. They just their own.
I don't know about all that stuff because I don't really go on Wall Street bets to know. So
yeah.
AI. The stock started getting pumped on Wall Street bets, got kicked off, and had to retreat to its own sub. An even better example is Bed Bath & Beyond. To this day, even though the company went bankrupt and the original shares barely even exist, Bed Bath has a handful of subreddits still trying to rationalize what's happening. AMC, same thing. After years of failure and dilution, the stock continues to create more bag holders huddling in their Cope Dungeon subreddits. Once a stock has suffered that fate, the only ones buying are institutions rebalancing their positions and cult members buying and selling stocks with each other. Unless something fundamentally changes about the company, like a buyout or a long-term turnaround, the stock will never get its hype multiples again. Look at AMC and tell me if it's worth holding. Once your stock is relegated to the corners, it's a cult stock. And number 7, reasonable bearish DD gets buried. The truth about these hype stocks is that the only reason they can move in price so fast is that they were cheap to begin with and had low trading volume. Once buying pressure comes in, they shoot higher quickly because buyers grossly overwhelm sellers. These types of stocks are generally not rising because there is some new bullish thesis. They're rising because people want to buy them, thinking the price will go higher so they can sell them to other speculators. Since there's really nothing...
Most of them, wouldn't you say, Corex are rising because people are pushing the naked short theory? Oh, look at, here's the report of the daily short volume for the last 60 days. If you add all these up, imagine all the synthetic shares.
Yeah.
It's just made up DD.
Right. To call it DD is even being generous.
Look at the OBV. No one's selling.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And like you said, it's just to bring new people in the door to hopefully push up the stock.
At that point, you know, I will trade some of these stocks even when they get overvalued, but you just have to tell yourself this is a momentum trade. And as soon as that momentum shifts, I got to get out. I have no problem with anybody speculating if they have the proper mindset like that. But when you start lying to yourself that this stock is overvalued, this stock that was at 50 cents last week that's trading at $8 today, if you think that is a fair valuation, MMTLP, looking at you, you know, you are lying to yourself and you're allowing other people to manipulate you.
Yeah.
Including the CEOs.
That's the one thing a lot of people forget is, like, there's, like you said, a corporate interest, especially with a company that makes no money, to dilute shareholders. And they're going to tell you all the lies.
Yeah, the company they need money. They have every incentive to only talk about the positive, or for many of these CEOs to talk about naked shorts, even if they have no evidence.
It distracts from their failures.
Well, I wouldn't say it distracts from their failures. They are not yet successful. They're pre-success, correct? But they need money.
I think that could be said for some companies, like GameStop's right on the edge. It could turn around at any moment. You know, some of these companies that have been successful before could be successful again. But for, like, some companies, like, say, a GNS, like, come on now. You've been trying for how long? Maybe put someone else at the head.
They got Michael Saylor on board now as a professor.
Oh boy.
You never know.
New or bullish about the stock, the fundamentals are still bearish. Opendoor is still burning through cash flow, and its overpayments for houses during the 2021 bubble are becoming a burden. AMC is still diluting its shares because it can't afford to pay its debts otherwise. It is totally reasonable for people to present bearish DD. Both analysts and run-of-the-mill traders will talk about how these may be some of the worst stocks on the market right now. This will be backed up with facts about things like cash burn, debt-to-equity ratios,
with
and
the
the
$2
declining
bill.
price to earnings. Even in regular stocks like Apple, bearish DD isn't usually.
And the only place you see $2 bills handed out anymore is at the strip clubs.
$2 bills are classy. Don't you be slandering my $2 bills. I don't have any, but I just like them. They're neat because there's not that many of them.
The dog pile of hate will reach a whole new level. If you don't want to be called a paper-handed bitch, don't post bearish DD on a cult stock. Your post will be downvoted, and your message will not be further received. But you will not receive criticism on your thesis. No one will make counterpoints to discredit your arguments. Instead, you'll get roasted just for being bearish in the first place.
That is true. Like, no, if you post anything that the cult disagrees with, if you aren't in total synchronization with their message, they won't bother to comment on any DD that you shared. They go straight into attack mode, personal attack, emotional attacks.
Yeah. Because it's about attacking you, the person, not
when
the actual.
When I see someone doing that, like there's some GameStop YouTubers, some really emotional pumpers that base all of their channel on personal attacks of other people. That's when you know that their game is really weak. Their ability to talk about due diligence is weak because they can't talk about it. They only focus on personal attacks.
Well, I think that they're on some talk radio show where the chief fodder for that is usually insulting the person rather than having a legitimate debate.
Yeah, it just shows a weak-minded, emotional movement to me.
If you're in an environment where bearish DD isn't criticized on its merits, but rather criticized by virtue of being bearish, then you're in a cult stock. Go ahead and stay long as you want to. Just be ready for that stock to tank, because it's coming, and then other bag holders will try to sucker you into buying more. Don't fall for it. This video may sound condescending, but we've all been there. I have made money with puts on cult stocks like Oscar and Open, and I've bag held others until I couldn't take the pain anymore. I've been on both sides of this internal fight. My trading improved when I realized the signs of being a cult stock investor. When it comes to cults, the only ones who win are the ones who get out. When you're trading on FOMO, a long-term investment is just a short-term investment that failed. Do not be the long-term bag holder. Remember, there is always another side to the cult stock investing. You can buy puts or sell call credit spreads. You can make money when a cult stock goes down, and there's nothing wrong with that. Come hang out in our free Discord, where we make more money selling options and running side hustles than basically any stock trader.
I will say one thing about the end of this video. I don't think you should be moving people from meme stock cults straight into fucking options. That sounds like a recipe for more gambling.
Depends on what type of options trading he's talking about, right? If he's, I didn't hear him mention the wheel strategy, so I don't know.
Well, he did have the theta cap, so maybe.
But what I had some. Oh, my closing thoughts as I heard him do his little wrap up. I think if you can admit to yourself what a cult like leader in a stock or a cult like behavior in a stock is, if you can recognize that for what it is, there's a lot of opportunities to make money in these stocks. If you recognize them early, do not get involved with these people pushing the nonsense, and just trade the momentum. And when the momentum fades, exit the play. I don't short stocks, so I don't short them on the way down, but that is an alternative. You could also make money on the way up and the way down. Buying puts at the top often is tough because the IV is so high. Mm-hmm. You can't make money even if your bet was right on a put. It has to crater immediately all the way back down. So
depending on how you do it, you could do what I did. I knew that after the whole Trump run up on Intel, I was like, we're going to sell some covered calls here. And then I've watched the collapse back down to 24. I was like, thank you for my money.
John says, isn't GameStop projected to be near 900 million by at least one anonymous analyst? John, yes. We know about Michael Pachter. He's got a lower number, and if you go to Yahoo, they have 2 analysts, but they don't say who the other one is. Is it a real person? I don't know. But yes, there is someone out there that made a 900 million revenue call. And that, like I said earlier in this live stream, that could totally be possible. I don't know. I don't make revenue forecasts for GameStop. I make bets on what the stock momentum is going to do. And I try and buy cheap and I sell into run-ups. But my game is shifting a little bit with GameStop because they've cut just about all of the money losing locations. I see that they're continuing to cut, and they have $9.5 billion in cash, minus $4 billion in debt. So let's call it $5 billion. It's a solid company. Might be worth a speculative bet for some people that think Ryan Cohen can do something with all that cash. I'm just, I'm on that pivot point where this could be a really, really interesting play. It's hard to say anything bearish. I think these people that are bearish on GameStop, it seems a little bit overdone. They're trying too hard. Corex, you probably hang out with those people more than I do. How do you think the bears are feeling on GameStop? Why do they still hate it so much? Because clearly the company's not going bankrupt.
Well, I think most people don't think it is. It's just, it's still ludicrously overvalued. Well, I mean, maybe not ludicrously, but what is it now? 22, 24?
22 and change.
So, I mean, I'd say because I want to buy it at a discount. Like if I'm going to get involved, I have no problem waiting. There's other stocks I can be involved with. See, that's the other thing is you don't need to base your life around one stock. There's plenty of opportunities out there. So this,
there's also diversification, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is our favorite thing. This is not a one ticker channel. We will play anything that has momentum, anything that has a good story, anything that is truly undervalued. Or, some of my favorites are blue chips that have some temporary bad news and they just get whacked.
You and United Health then?
Well, I mean, that is one, right? But I have to do the DD to convince myself that they truly have a turnaround story in the next couple of years. Because, some of these companies, they have bad news and they get whacked, even blue chips, and they never recover. So...
And I also think that the big thing that I think most of the bears think on GameStop is there might be this power pack thing might be good, but we've also seen a lot of things with these GameStop things that have come out is that the people that are part of the cult, they come out and they blow it up. You talk about the Joy-Con controllers or the NFT marketplace, the CandyCon. That's what I was meaning. Or the NFT marketplace or anything like that. And you see this initial surge that's huge, and then it kind of tapers off. And then, I think that's what people are more skeptical of with this is, initial numbers could be good. I mean, the first quarter that they report with the full store, Power Pack store open may be really good. The question is, can they sustain that? And is it just going to be another situation where all the marks come in and then it's just kind of, we don't know.
It's going to be fascinating to watch. And I probably will be trading it and looking for an edge.
Yeah. And hopefully they don't run into regulatory hurdles because like you said, it's almost quasi gambling. I think because they're dealing with physical items, they kind of are able to skirt. It's not, cash for cash.
No, I didn't even think about that.
But yeah.
All right. My wife is home from work and now, and I need to eat something too. So thanks for letting me know about that video, Corey, because that was an interesting watch. The gentleman's name, if you want to go watch the whole thing without hearing us blabber on, is Kamikaze Cash on YouTube.
Yeah. And maybe next time we'll get to sneak in and talk about NVIDIA, because I have like the semiconductor space is in a whole is like I vibe in it. So
I would love to talk about NVIDIA, but I can tell my stomach is telling me it's time to
eat,
get some food and
important things.
Yeah, and my wife will. I'm sure she's had a long day at work and she wants some Tony time.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take it out with the up and to the right.
Up and to the right. Up and to the right. Up and to the right.
Hello, millionaires. Short screenplays, where fortunes flip. GameStop's journey, an epic trip. From humble roots to the moon we fly. A company's dream will amplify. Reddit warriors, keyboards in hand. With their eyes on the prize, they took a stand. No one's selling, we're here to fight. How does it go? Up and to the right. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. Hedge funds trembling, Kenny's in shock. GameStop stock, you'll never stop. From diamond hands to rocket ships, we're not selling, we buy every dip. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. Up and to the right, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Up and to the right, molasses in sight. Billions in cash on the balance sheet. We will win even if they cheat. Dilute us more, we don't care. Book value grows with every share. The doubters say it can't be done, but the retail army we've already won. With every share we'll never stop. Investors say we love the stock. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. It stops on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar. Up and to the right. Up and to the right. We're in for the ride. Together we'll soar. Up and to the right.
Surprise!
We're going to win.